Hello and welcome to another episode of the Electric Norwegian. I'm Mats. Today we're out in a Ford E-Transit Custom, which is one of the most sold vans in Europe, I think. And Ford has been building transits since at least the late 60s or something. And you can tell I always had a sweet spot for the transit. It's a miserable, terrible day today. This is the charge port here. It looks like a transit. Yes, it's Sulan Bil in Sarpsborg. They've lent me the car. Very nice guys. You have the grill treatment. It's sort of like you have in the Mustang Mach-E. It's mostly closed off, really. Not entirely, apparently. I like the LED bar. It looks good. You have lots of space here for at least 2 Euro pallets. Oh, good. Nice lights. Lots of lights. That's good. 2 of those sliding doors. Of course, I would imagine you can get this both as doors like this or as a kind of a hatch thingy. And you can also pull 2.3 tons. The weather is awful. This is where the fuel filler cap normally is. I can pull 2,300 kilos. It can go 239 kilometers. It can't go 329 kilometers today, I'll tell you. It's windy, it's rainy, it's really, really bad outside. And it starts at 625,500 Norwegian kroner, which is around 60,000 euros or thereabout. And it says less than 39 minutes from 10 to 80%, which isn't very impressive, is it? It's only a 67.5 kilowatt hour battery pack, 125 kilowatt DC fast charging. So, well, you know, it has a pretty advanced, if you have a fleet of them, a fleet manager system now. And it has a bunch of driver assist technologies, all that stuff you can expect. And also it has vehicle to load. I don't know how much that vehicle to load is, but you can use it to run a saw and different kind of equipment, which is very good. Let's get some lights on, shall we? There's plenty of storage. A cup holder here. Place for your phone. I don't think it's a charger. I think it's just somewhere you can put it. Power outlet, a USB-C, USB-A, 12-volt socket. Handbrake here. Some buttons for your max defrost and some parking and cameras and stuff. And here is your modes. This is the middle trim. Armrest. Collapsible seat back with some storage and this thing. So it's a 3-seater. And also there's some storage. No, there's no storage below the seats. Pretty big glove compartment. You can have one glove here. You can have another glove in here. Cup holder there. Big door pockets. Storage. Door pockets. Lights. Mirrors. Big mirrors, as you can see. That's I like big mirrors, particularly in a van. And your stalks here, PRND and L for low. The region is pretty nice in here. I like it. Physical buttons. You can go in here. You can set up your economy, your status information on the car. Easy to use, easy to go through. What's audio? What's this? Oh, okay. The input or radio and stuff. Trip computers. So far, since we last charged, it's not really. We're at 89%. It indicates 193 kilometers. And you have motor temperature and battery temperature, which is interesting. Other than that, it's pretty simple. You have your cruise here, adaptive cruise it seems. That's wonderful. And you have, I like the steering wheel, it's padded even, it's softly padded. And this is a van, I say it again, it's a van. It's a lot of scratchy, but that's okay, it's a van, you have to expect that. Plenty of door pockets, plenty of space. That's an adapter probably to the vehicle to load thing. Small cup holder here. Even some quality in the door shutting thing. On off button, big, easy to see, although I missed it when I jumped in the car because I wasn't certain, because it turns on but it just doesn't start. So it's black, but once you notice it, it's very easy. You just grab here, push it, and this is rock solid, so you can sort of anchor yourself here and move around. Go in. It's a bit slow, but you have one big screen here. You have your apps, your functions, all in here. It's pretty easy to go through. Your drive modes, access, and assists, auto hold, traction control, and also a lot of stuff here. Also it had some, where was this? There, towing. You can add trailers and you can check the trailers, check the lights on the trailer. It's all these clever little things that tells you they've been thinking. Who are the users there? What do they need? They need lots of space and lots of cup holders. The only thing, there's only one big cup holder, and this is this one. The other one is the other one's like here, little bit too small. It's nitpicking, but it's a fact. No storage up here, and a small window, so you can use your mirror. You don't really see anything through it, so you just rely on your mirrors and your backup camera, and that's perfectly fine. So it has wireless CarPlay. Ow, that's always good. And like all vans pickups, it's best with a bit of load in it, really. Like I said, the iPedal, it does its job. It goes down to 0 when it stops the car, but it also it's a little bit aggressive. It can be a little bit jerky if you're moving the throttle a little bit too quick, going off throttle. But once again, that's a matter of either you like it or you don't. I personally enjoy my one-pedal driving, and it's not badly calibrated. It's just a little bit too aggressive sometimes, but it does. It's a good turning circle. This one, you can kind of. It's silly to say toss it around because it's a cargo van, but it's not. It feels like it's built by people who know how to make cars. Well, so does Peugeot, so does a lot of other people. VW, for instance. Speaking of VW, this one is sharing platform with the next generation Transporter. So that bodes well for the Transporter. Also, maybe it will get, it probably won't, it will get some kind of VW system. This is one of the sync systems of Ford. I always think they've been very good. Okay, you have to use the touch controls to adjust your temperature, but it's relatively big buttons, so it's easy to use, and that's kind of fine. What are you beeping off? Oh no, the overspeed warning. I have no idea where I turned that off. Probably in settings somewhere. But I won't do that now while I'm driving. It's not the quietest cabin in the entire world, mind you. But it's not the noisiest either. And unlike, for instance, in the Maxus, the early Maxus cars, which were okay, they were electric, but they weren't really particularly good. did a job, but it was Spartan and simple. This is kind of, you don't miss anything here. You have adaptive cruise control. You have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. You have a heated windscreen, which is nice. Also, you have it comes with a heated steering wheel. It also comes with a few dividing walls, which gives you more space in the cabin. So what I mentioned is a little bit snug. That's not really a problem because most people who order the car order the comfort wall. You have your armrest, and although I think it should have had a bigger battery, not necessarily because of the range, but because of the use cases. If you pull a big trailer with this car and you fill it with something big and boxy, it will devour energy. Even though you drive slow with a trailer, you only have to drive in 80 kilometers an hour with a trailer. Some trailers you can do 100, and also you can pull the power out of the vehicle. That's something I really appreciate. That's something I really like. So far, since we left home, we've have a consumption of 260 watt-hours per kilometer. Considering this is a big fat-ass car, that's actually not too bad. You have a good dead pedal here for your foot, since you only have 2 pedals after all. And all the buttons are lifted up and easy to see from where you sit. You don't have to go hunting for buttons behind the steering wheel or behind some stalks or something that you don't see them. Everything here is visible from where I sit, which is very nice and not always a given. All your buttons for everything, people. No, you should just no. Not buttons for everything, because then you won't find all your buttons. This is a nice layout. And okay, we should have had a knob for the temperature. I agree. We don't have that. That's a letdown, but that's almost the only thing I have to complain about as well. It's 5 degrees outside. It's raining. It's wet. It's miserable. But the sound system in this one, the stereo, this is a van. Most vans, all vans have blah and crap, and some have okay sound systems. But this is actually not too bad. You can play, you can crank up the volume and it plays loud. I mean, properly loud. Many cars I complain don't play loud. This one does that job pretty okay, and it also has some bass and some punch in it. It's not a massive subwoofer. It's not a Burmester. It's not nothing like that. But considering we're in a van, and it's some noise in the cabin, yes, it really does a good job, properly, yes. You can play some Robert Miles or some electronica or something, or even some jazz, and it still does a good job. You can sort of enjoy the music. It's not just horrible. Also, this is a properly, I won't call it quick, but it's a peppy car. It's plenty of power in this one. And the suspension, when you begin to not push it, but load it up and out on the road like this, it really feels good. It's like I said, it can be a little bit harsh on the in the city around over manhole covers and bridge joints and stuff like that. But here, I don't see anything now. I just see the lights on that big truck. Here, this is, out on the open road, it really settles and becomes really nice to drive. Steering is nice. It gives you, it's not a feedback, but it's a Ford. You can sort of, it has a sort of tossability to it. The noises it makes when it beeps at you, and the indicator noises and stuff, they're not too intrusive. They're not like in some Japanese cars. They're just, you go crazy because they're so screamy and just really, really terrible to listen to. These noises are okay. You hear them, but they're not like in the way. So there is a little bit cramped cabin here, maybe. Just a bit. The visibility is good. You see, it's a big windscreen. You see down at an angle straight in the front of the car. There's a very short nose on this one, so if you kind of lift your head a little bit if you don't raise your sitting position, and you have no problem seeing what's straight ahead of you. And the A-pillars are big, but they're not in the way because they're kind of pulled back in a way, so you can sort of see around them easily enough. Unlike in the Peugeot, for instance, and in other cars, like also partly in the ID Bus, the A-pillars can be a little bit in the way. Here they've done a good job of that. Even with the massive mirrors, they're mounted relatively low, so they're big and they block some of your view, but don't block your view of what's far ahead of you. And that's good. That's good. Like I said, if you think through little things. And the modulation on the throttle, I said it before, it's the more I use it, the more I think this is so sweet. It's so nice. Let's try and get the adaptive cruise control on. There it is. I think that's it. Yes, it's that. Brilliant. Yeah, I found the vehicle registration data on the car. It's 5.4 meters long, 2.03 meters wide. It doesn't feel very big and wide. 350 centimeters of 3.5 meters of distance between the axles. It weighs, including driver, which is 70 kilos, 75 kilos driver. I don't weigh 75 kilos. We can pretend I do. The young man that's soon coming is weighing a little bit, maybe weighing that soon. 2,417 kilos, which isn't really that bad. It can carry 808 kilos, and it can pull 2.3 tons on a trailer with brakes, of course. So I have 200 horsepower, 218 horsepower. I don't know the torque figures of this stuff, but it feels at least around 400 newton meters, I would imagine. I told the car now to navigate to Bergen just for the sake of fun, and it told me here I can also see the weather at destination and around 2 hours of charging. That's fine. That's destination. I don't know if that's the final destination or the first charge stop. 12%. 10 hours and 58 minutes. It's also given me 1, 2, 3, 4 charge stops. I don't know the relevance of that, but I would imagine we need probably 3. So yeah, it doesn't really sound half bad at all. And that's good. I like the fact that it routes for you. I like that. Yeah, well, now we're on the motorway. It's a bit of a noise, and it's mind you, it is a windy day today. You can't see it, but it is. That's a bit of added noise. And there's nothing else in the back of the car, so there's no kind of shelves or anything to take that noise. So let's do a quick range estimation. For the time being, it claims we have a consumption of 310 watt-hours per kilometer since we left, since I drove off from Halden, and that's 67 kilometers. We have 34% left. We have an indicated 65 kilometers. That's 100. And then the range estimation seems to be relatively believable. So I'll have done at least 400 kilometers. Not 400 kilometers. 40 kilometers. So that's 100, 160, and it wasn't fully charged when I picked it up. So I think you can easily do on a day like today 200, 250 kilometers probably. And if you have an average of 300 watt hours, well, you have a 67.5 kilowatt hour battery pack. That's about 250 kilometers, isn't it? Yeah, roughly. So there you have it. But you can, this one can easily go cheaper than that as well, as you saw earlier today when I drove to Halden on the local roads. It used around 200 watt hours, 20 or thereabout, which gives you a lot more range. So I believe the 330 kilometer range declaration. It's fully possible to do that. Maybe not on a day like today, and not in the winter either. But that's how it is with any car. So to sum up the car, brilliant sound system, at least for a van. The sync infotainment system is decent. It's definitely not bad. I miss a few knobs, for instance, for the climate control here. It's a working man's van. Maybe you have a glove on, whatever. Give it a few more knobs and buttons, but it works. Adaptive cruise, nice. The electric drivetrain, very, very well calibrated. I like it a lot. It's quick, this thing. It's powerful enough. You don't feel like it's not lethargic. Good visibility. Lights are okay. Definitely not the worst. And it's a van, so you can throw everything you own into it. Full 2.3 tons. Decent price on it as well. The range is okay. You always want more range in a car like this, of course, but for what it is, it's definitely not bad, and it's something you can. It's an honest figure. It's very energy efficient. It has a good heat pump system. So the Ford E-Transit Custom, thumbs up, definitely. It's a bit noisier than some of its competition, but it's not a major issue. Thank you to Schuland Bil once again for lending me the car, and thank you to you for watching. Do like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff if you want to, and take care, and I'll see you again in another video in another car. Bye bye.